Let's today talk our way through another Nova Drift speedrun, actually using some guns this time. We are going to go into the draft but not wild category and build a railgun amp shield thing pretty similar to the existing meta. We're going to use the Corsa body instead, and then we're going to go through and build a very similar kind of shotgun, charged shot, homing strike kind of thing. We're getting some stuff that the existing world record that isn't me doesn't get, but I think in this particular case it's worth it. I'm not sure if this is a better strategy overall, but it is a new body on... Like, there aren't any speedruns at the moment that use the Corso body, so we're pretty happy with it being just a new thing. There's one more... yeah, there we go. We want to end up with 3 upgrades. And so that's how we figure out whether we've got everything. We've got the Corsa body, which means most of our bullets go side to side, which has some interesting implications for aiming stuff. We also have the burst strike, which means when there's lots of little enemies we can kind of do a spin and cover the screen. We have the warp strike, which means when there are tougher enemies, if we line ourselves up either purely horizontally or purely vertically, then the warp strike lines up in a really nice way to hit the same thing from the other side. And yeah, this is where we're shooting some things. I like the way that, like, conceptually, the way that charge shot means that we're still getting value in speedruns. We didn't line that up well, but it still worked. From the time in between waves. Like, if there are enemies not on screen, we're kind of charging, and sometimes it doesn't work out. We tried to get both of those things, oh well. And yeah, like, we're not... with the charged burst, especially the charged burst thing, is a setup that expects to put out some damage and then pause for a bit. And so that works nicely when you're fighting waves of dudes. Wasn't sure that was going to work at all. And then having little pauses between waves. That did not work. We are not playing this well, never mind. Yeah, we're still doing a bit of a glass cannon thing. That's kind of always going to be the case. Yeah, if we don't get... yeah, this being a draft speedrun. How many of these guys are we getting? Another one of these? Yeah, this being a draft speedrun, we kind of want to wipe all the enemies off the screen as soon as they arrive, so that was pretty good. And if we don't get it right the first time because we don't have enough damage, then it ends up significantly... like, we'd rather hold the charge slightly longer and do it all in one shot than we would have to save up another... yeah, we kind of weren't well aimed there. Yeah, having to save up another charge to finish an enemy off is pretty painful. And yeah, and then, like, we still want to collect all the orbs because we've got ataraxia, so we're getting slight combat bonuses from unspent levels. Yeah, this is a nice demonstration of how painful these slow waves are in this draft mode, because we have to wait for all those guys to get onto the screen, as opposed to all of these that are actually just one wave by themselves that we can make explode as soon as they get here. And yeah, we've also got Warpath, which means we want to be killing everything quickly, not just because it's a speedrun, we want to kill everything quickly, but also because we get combat upgrades from killing a lot of different things in succession. And then we've also got Leaf on the Wind that I think gives us some kind of bonus to not taking damage. And then that's pretty much the only thing we can do to make all of this faster, is to make sure we get enough damage to kill all the things. Oh yeah, this enemy, they also can take a while to get on screen. So there's still a lot of randomness in it. Like, these other are also enemies that will take a little while because you've got to wait for their shields to go away. And then that was fine because they told us where we were going to be, so we could put the bullets there first. Another nice little wave that gets on screen quickly. Yeah, so there's still a lot of randomness in this speedrun about, do we just get waves that arrange them? Yeah, we did not do that well at all. do we get waves that we can kill quickly? Crucible is kind of fine, we just save up enough and then... didn't actually save up enough. Cool. These guys I like quite a lot because we can just kind of fire the bullets everywhere. Yeah, these... we still have to make sure the dudes that grant shields go away first because they are pretty annoying. Wave 200, actually kind of fine. Is it? Yeah, that was fine. I think this is one of the reasons why I like having... I think it's Splinter is what it's called. Splinter or Shatter or something like that. There's one that means that whenever we fire our gun... this is... oh, this is a Glaucus. Yeah, whenever our bullets hit something and then the bullet ceases to be a bullet because it hit a thing, it explodes into more bullets, which means that for Wave 200 and things like that, that was a smaller version of it. If there are ever opportunities where two tough opponents want to close on us from opposite directions, because we have the Courser body, we can just sit between them and bounce bullets between them in a way that seems to work out pretty well. And yeah, we did not save enough damage. These guys always trick me in terms of how much damage we need. And then we've got another Scion, which is fine. So I think I'm going to quite like the way the Courser is pretty good at covering the screen, but I'm not sure that the extra bullets from Courser really pay off versus like the increased damage and everything else that we would get from the assault body instead. But I still like the idea of having a lot of different like spaceship bodies in the speedrun leaderboards. And so we've got Firefly, we've put Leviathan there now. Like, Assault Body is already on the speedrun leaderboards. I don't know the Courser is at all. So that's the thing I like. Courser just doesn't seem to get a whole lot of attention. It is a bit glass cannon-y, but then again, for a speedrun, glass cannon is exactly what we want. I did try this with the battery as well, just to try and do... oh, here's another Scion. We missed. We also missed. There we go. Yeah, I did try this with battery as well, because that's the other body that gives you just more bullets and stuff. And was finding that battery just didn't have... like, battery is like the larger, heavier version of this. And I was finding I didn't have the rate of fire that I needed to be clearing bosses off quickly. And there's a nice setup we've got for Star Eater here, where we can kind of sit on this side, which is fine, and then he's going to turn up over here somewhere, and we missed. But yeah, there's a nice little two-part setup we can do for Star Eater there that is pretty reliable because Star Eater always turns up at the same place, and we know that with the Courser and the Warp Strike we can put bullets in different sides of the face pretty easily. And yeah, that is a speedrun. It's actually not that... it's not that bad. 8:39. I think the world record is like 8 minutes 8 seconds, so we're a bit slower, but you know, that's fine. We did a thing. We got Courser on the leaderboard. That's pretty exciting. And we actually fired some guns this time in Nova Drift. That's also not a thing that's happened for a while. Mostly we've just done hidden power stuff. But yeah, Nova Drift, doing some things.